Hi everyone, I'm Marcy, and today I'm making gorditas. This is a recipe that many of you have requested, and I'm thrilled to share because first of all, I love them, and second, because it takes me back to when I was a kid and I used to have them at the church fiestas. They were always such a treat, and now I'm going to show you how you can make these too. Believe it or not, I've shared my recipe for gorditas before, back in 1997 in Sacramento magazine. This was back in my old TV days. You can see a picture of me there and my plate of gorditas. Now, the word gordita can be translated into little chubby one, and you can see why, because they're basically these cornmeal patties that have been split open and they're filled with ground beef, lettuce, tomato, and cheese, and they're just wonderful. Now, to make these, you're going to need 3.5 cups of Masa Harina. Now, Masa Harina is a corn masa mix, and typically I buy Maseca brand because that's pretty readily available everywhere. And just so you know, it doesn't keep for a long time. So say you made tamales and you had some left over and you made tamales 6 months ago and you're like, oh, this is a great way for me to use it. No, you're going to need to get some fresh Masa Harina because, like I said, they will not turn out for you. You'll also need 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1 teaspoon salt, 1/4 cup of shortening, 2 1/4 cup lukewarm water. And then this is optional, but I like to put a little red chili into my masa to give it this beautiful color. And I have just a little bit of leftover chili here. If you've been following my videos for any amount of time, this is something that I've shared with you many times. And if you're interested, I'll go ahead and put a link to one of my videos showing you how to make that. Then for the filling, you're going to need anywhere from 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of ground beef. And you're just gonna season and cook this the way you normally would your taco meat. For me, that's just a combination of salt, garlic powder, cumin, and chili powder. And today I'm gonna put a little pieces of potato in there as well. Then you'll need your shredded lettuce, your tomato, shredded cheese of your choice, some salsa, and of course, plenty of oil for frying. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm first going to cook the potatoes for my ground beef. Again, cook your meat the way you like it because we all have our own preferences. When I was growing up, there were 5 of us kids, so my mom would always add potatoes into the meat to make it stretch. And now that's how I like it. I chop up the potato really small and cook it in a little water. Then when it's cooked, I add in the ground beef and the seasonings, and that's pretty much it. Either way, when your ground beef is cooked, put a lid on it so it stays warm and set it aside. Then in a large mixing bowl, put in the Masa Harina, the flour, the baking powder, and the salt. Give it a quick mix, then add in the shortening. And I just use my hands to work it into the dry ingredients. Next, begin adding the water a little at a time because you may not need it all. You just want to work it in until it all sticks together and you're left with a smooth, pliable masa. I'm not using all the water because I'm adding chili sauce. I pour in just enough to give it some color. And I knead until it's fully mixed in. This looks great. Now that the masa is done, you can form it into balls. Just grab some masa and with the palm of your hands, rotate in a circular motion until you have a ball. If you have a tortilla press, you then flatten it out to where it's somewhere between 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch thick. If you don't have a tortilla press, no problem. You just use your fingertips to press and flatten the masa, making it as round and as even as possible. I'll finish making these as we go, but I need to start heating the oil. You'll want to fill your pan about 1 inch deep so you can deep fry the gorditas. While it's heating, you should also line a rack or platter with paper towels so you can drain the excess oil later. Now back to the masa. When the gorditas are all formed and the oil is nice and hot, then we're ready to fry. And my sister Terry taught me this one trick where as soon as you put in the gordita into the oil, take a spoon and immediately start splashing oil onto the top side, and that's going to help them to puff up. And you're probably just gonna fry them for about 40 seconds on both sides, maybe a little less. Fry until they're golden and puffy, then place it onto the paper towels for the excess oil to drain and continue with the rest. Now take a small knife and cut a slit along one side of the gordita, being careful not to pierce through the other side because we're going to be stuffing these. You don't go all the way around, just enough to form a pocket. Then spoon in the ground beef and fill with all the other good stuff. Growing up in my hometown of La Mesa, that's in southern New Mexico, there was this one woman, her name was Mrs. Fragoso, and she made the world's best gorditas. I'm telling you, they were the stuff of legends. And every year at the fiestas, there would be this long line of people waiting to buy her gorditas as soon as she could make them. And they were just heavenly. I really looked forward to that every year. And really, to this day, gorditas is not something that I eat all the time. When it comes to deep fried foods, I eat it very, very rarely. So when I do, I make the calories worth it. And that is the case with gorditas. Oh my gosh, so good. It's all the flavors you love in a taco, but it's put in this wonderful little cornmeal pocket of yumminess that we lovingly call gorditas. I really hope you try this recipe, and if you like it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss any other recipe like it. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Again, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I post one new recipe every week. You can also follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.